We are so excited for Gusto Next.
Woo!
All right, let's count it down. 15,
14,
13,
12,
11,
10,
9, 8, 7,
6,
5,
5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gusto Next. I am your co-host, Caleb Newquist. I am the editor at large at Gusto.
And I'm Will Lopez, your other Gusto Next co-host and head of the accounting community. Wow, not only is this a momentous day for Gusto, but Caleb and I would say this is a historic day for the accounting profession. And guess what? All of you who are joining us today are a part of what is next with payroll, benefits, and HR.
Yeah, Will, you and I have had a lot of conversations about this moment from the time it was merely an idea to all the work that our Gusto team has been doing to produce this event.
During today's interactive live event, you're going to hear from leading industry experts about the future of accounting with Gusto. And over the next 90 minutes, our keynote and major announcements will come from our Gusto colleagues. And later in our panel discussion, you'll hear from accounting practitioners who will share their vision and perspective on the profession's future from this day going forward, because it's a big day today. And this event will conclude with a 30-minute Q&A with Gusto to answer and discuss all the ins and outs.
I mean, that all sounds pretty good. So I guess I'm ready. And Will, I assume you're ready.
Listen, don't sound too excited, Caleb. I was born ready, and I don't know about everybody else in the audience, but I hope you're ready too, because you're going to hear how your practice can use Gusto's people platform as a springboard to transform payroll services into a more meaningful experience and embark on something completely new, yet desperately needed in the accounting profession and small business life. And honestly, as a practitioner myself, here with all my peers, that's what I'm looking most forward to today.
Will, you and I have both been in the accounting world for about 20 years, and there's been a number of major milestones in each of our careers from, our first jobs out of school. For myself, I made a big transition from being a practitioner to a blogger and a journalist and a commentator when I helped found Going Concern. And then when I joined Gusto just a little over 2 years ago, that was another big transition for me. As for you, you started one of the first cloud-based practices in the US, and now you're empowering accountants as Gusto's head of community.
Yeah, and I couldn't be more excited to be with all my friends here today. And, Caleb, there's no doubt that I think you and I have seen a lot of big moments happen in our profession, which makes this really exciting.
Yeah, and I think that's why you and I are going to look back on this day as a big milestone, another big milestone in our careers. And I'm really thrilled that there's all these people here to share it with us. But enough about us. Will, why don't you introduce our keynote speaker?
I'd be honored. Well, I'm sure we've hyped up this moment long enough, and I'm sure all of you are eager to hear what Gusto Next is all about. So without any further delay, I'm pleased to introduce you to our keynote speaker for Gusto Next. Formerly, she was at Google as VP of Global Sales and Strategy. Now she continues her incredible leadership and advocacy for small businesses and accounting professionals here at Gusto. Needless to say, but I'm saying it anyways, Caleb and I, along with the rest of Gusto, couldn't be more fortunate to work alongside her day in and day out. Why don't you welcome to the screen and give a nice big round of virtual applause to Gusto's Chief Operating Officer and very own Lexi Reese.
Oh, thank you so much, Will, Caleb. That was a big entry. And by the way, you guys think you're here for Gusto Next, but you're actually here for Caleb's birthday. So big snaps for Caleb's birthday. We aligned this around you, Caleb. I'm Lexi. I'm Gusto's Chief Operating Officer, and I am so thrilled to be here. Thank you for joining us. I joined Gusto 5 years ago. I joined because of our mission to create a world where work empowers a better life. And I know many of you share that mission. There are about 3,000 people tuning in today. I think 50% of you are familiar with our platform and 50% are newer. So let me explain a bit about the People Platform. We help businesses onboard, pay, insure, and take care of their hardworking teams. Payroll is the entry point because it is the foundation of the economy and it centers business operations around people. We exist at Gusto to serve small business customers, every employee that works for them, and the family members those employees support with their earnings, insurance, retirement, and college savings plans. One of the most important ways we can serve our customers is to endeavor to empower you, our accounting partners, with new tools and programs to grow your clients' firms and your own by expanding the services you provide. You've always been trusted advisors to your businesses, and your counsel is paramount to their success. This is a core principle for how we build our software and service at Gusto. We are so deeply grateful for all you do and incredibly proud to be your partners in serving small businesses across the nation. Over the past few months at Gusto, we have shipped more than 40 new product features, from supporting new emergency paid leave laws to accessing federal tax credits to a dedicated small business COVID-19 resource hub. We've created partnerships with leading fintech companies and CDFIs, as well as the major banks, to deliver more than $2.3 billion in payroll protection plan aid to our small business customers. And we've lobbied at every level to fix systemic issues in how small businesses receive aid and are supported. You have been there every step of the way. Many of the folks on this call have been advising us on these products, have been working with us collaboratively to return the small business sector to health. Gusto Next is an important step in fulfilling our promise to be of service to you. And our team is here to talk about the new things we've built expressly for the accounting community. This represents the next step in our delivery of a commitment to create peace of mind, resilience, and new revenue opportunities for you, our accounting partners, so that together we can serve the small business community. With the pandemic of COVID-19, the commensurate impact on the economy, and the civil rights reckoning we are going through as a country, we are living through truly unprecedented times. More than 100,000 small businesses have been forced to close permanently since the pandemic started. And that number could reach 1 million in the next year. That's nearly 17% of all businesses with less than 100 employees in the US gone. Gone. Now, you know better than anyone how drastic and far-reaching the consequences of those closures will be, have been. And the consequences are even more dire for Black and Latinx businesses who have been historically and systemically underserved. At Gusto, we wake up every day determined to bend this curve for small businesses because we believe the health and the security of our nation depend on it. Recently, an accounting partner who you'll hear from today, Nio Carter-Gray, explained to us how COVID has completely changed her business. Clients are now asking her for help on how to shift business models, how to stay afloat while taking care of employees, all while their revenue opportunities have been demolished, diminished, or radically changed. She told us one of her clients is a wedding planner based in Pennsylvania that has 7 employees. And every wedding has now been rescheduled to 2021, 1 year from now. Opportunities to secure revenue are low, and the pressure to continue to pay and provide health insurance to employees is high. Her client's pressure is now Nio's own as well, and I loved this quote from her when she describes the change. Using her own words, "I was used to only looking at the numbers and not advising on the people side of the equation." Small businesses are facing near impossible dilemmas. COVID has forced them to make decisions around the survival of their business and their teams, to lay off some to keep others employed, how to reopen and ensure customer and employee safety while not getting sued along the way, how to make sense of and apply for federal aid, which takes time, or focus on your business to ensure a greater chance of survival. Some fear their life's work will cease to exist. Others wrestle with being responsible for their employees' health. 5.4 million people at last count, and this number has gone up, have been stripped of health insurance during the pandemic. Now, I just had a health scare with my husband over the last couple of weeks. He went to the hospital 3 times. We had 6 different diagnostic tests. Had we not had health insurance, the expenses of all of this would have crushed us as a 2-income family. Now, what is going to happen to 99% of Americans that live paycheck to paycheck who lose their job and their health insurance all at once? What's the choice? Do you not take care of your loved ones, or do you go into financial distress and ruin? How can business owners continue to provide health insurance during this global pandemic while staying in business against the shifting tides that are still shifting all around us? Now, I know I'm not saying things that are new to you because you are in the thick of this, taking on your client's stress as your own. Half of you say you've been working longer hours. More than that have scheduled or canceled a vacation. A third of you say you've lost sleep purely from stress, and that stress keeps getting you interrupted by work emails and phone calls during the middle of the night. So this is an imperative moment to be talking about the future of accounting, both as a profession and as a vital part of small business survival. Small businesses need more help, expertise, and guidance than ever before. Nothing could be more powerful. Nothing could be more personal. And what is the answer? The answer is all of you. Small businesses who work with accountants grow their net profit by 23%. Given how razor thin margins small businesses are operating on, 23% is life-changing. You have been the difference maker for small businesses and their success for years. Now, the government knew that the key to small business survival was keeping people employed, keeping small businesses and their employees getting paid. That was the theory and the thesis behind the Payroll Protection Plan, EIDL, and the CARES Act. But keeping people employed while reopening plans are constantly changing, stopping, and starting, this has become nearly an impossible calculus. But business owners cannot solve this alone. So you're stepping up. You're stepping up, bearing the burden to help small businesses make sense of regulations and make excruciating decisions around payroll and furlough, things that affect people's lives. And your clients are asking you to advise on what has always been the most important part, as Nayo said, of the business equation, their people. Now, against this backdrop, as tough as it is, as dire as it's sometimes seen, we're also on the precipice of an enormous, enormous opportunity. The need for accountants to advise on people existed long before COVID, but the pandemic has accelerated and crystallized this need into a demand for all of you to become holistic business advisors. Your clients are not asking for new services that solve these complex problems, they're demanding them. I was blown away by this stat. 72% of small businesses have switched accountants because they failed to give proactive advice. Now, it's hard to switch accountants. So proactive advice on the thing that people need the most help on, their teams right now, is critical. This is inclusive of a people strategy that's now become a core expectation and is here to stay. And through providing people advice and business recovery services, a new area for revenue growth has been brought into sharp relief. Recent data shows that HR advisory services are only 5% of revenue today for most accountants. But your peers who have embraced this role say it is the difference between being proactive and being reactive. Instead of waiting for their clients to call them in a panic, they can provide advice and solve problems before they happen. And clients notice. 80% of those clients supported through advisory say they have more time to focus on their business. Many of you have been playing this expanded role as your client's advisor. You've been adding to your bottom line by leveraging all the capabilities cloud and other technologies have to offer to make your firm more efficient and productive, using far less time to produce the same or higher volume of work, and delivering more and more higher value services more accurately. Practices that provide advisory services have generated 69% more revenue per employee than firms offering accounting and bookkeeping services alone. We want to make it easier for you to do this, to help increase the value you provide and increase your revenue as a result. That's what we're here to discuss. How do we continue to advance your business as you continue to advance your clients' businesses? The tools, training, and support you need to do this with respect to advising on people-related issues have not existed. We're here to change that. Now, before I get into the news we have to share today, it's important to acknowledge another major issue that affects the entire industry and is kind of like the elephant in the room. For decades, clients have relied on you for compliance and payroll, but many of these services are now being automated by software that eats into your business, and in some cases has threatened to replace you entirely. At Gusto, we believe in technology as an enabler, but never a replacement for accountants whose value, professional worth, and expertise is far greater than any software stack. While technology is indeed disrupting and commoditizing many traditional services, it is also providing excellent opportunities to those accounting firms willing to transform their thinking and their services, their mindset and their skill sets. And our goal is to assist in that transformation. We want to create opportunities for you, not take them away. And the notion being perpetuated that automation is the answer to everything is just so patently false. 25 years working in tech, and I can tell you, not only is it false, it's also dangerous. Automation is great for solving process matters like calculating payroll because it saves time and it improves accuracy. And with taxes changing against this economic backdrop we're living in, it's important to have a cloud-based solution for that. But automation that makes generalizations, that doesn't take into account the context of a business's specific human situation, that is downright harmful. Automation cannot, for example, build balanced and inclusive teams. It cannot adjust business models when a global pandemic hits, and it cannot create great places to work. These problems, these most complex and most critical for businesses to get right, these require people to solve them, and we want to empower you to do just that. So that's why today we are now offering a new offer for Gusto partners called People Advisory powered by Gusto. It is the first and only platform that uses payroll as a gateway to broader and deeper advisory services. Just as important, People Advisory provides you with real tools, education, and training that will teach you different ways, back to that mindset and skill set point, to approach this new role and concrete ways of bringing payroll, benefits, and people operations into your daily advice for clients. We're putting you in the position to be full business advisors, and that means thinking about your talent strategy, your hiring ability, your budget for employee benefits. Your clients need this because more changes are coming. If a client shifts its business model, for example, and we've all seen this, from a dine-in restaurant to a pop-up kitchen doing takeaway and delivery service, the people they hire and what's important to them is going to change. Their talent strategy has changed. Their budget has changed. They need you to advise them. With People Advisory, conversations about your client's team become these amazing moments to build trust and to provide that proactive advice, to steer the business owner in the right direction and save their employees from being crushed in the circumstance of not having a paycheck or health insurance when they need it most. By combining deep financial insight and acumen from all of you with knowledge from Gusto's platform, you can provide and expand talking to your clients about budgeting, forecasting, and other virtual CFO services, absolutely, but expand that to providing advice on the most overlooked and critical part of business success, people. With People Advisory, you will be able to meaningfully advise clients on how to build high performance and deeply engaged teams. Now, the advisory service will include really specific help with HR scenarios, like some of the tricky situations businesses encounter regularly, say wrongful terminations. Breakwater, an accounting firm based out of Wilmington, Delaware, recently shared a story with us about how a nonprofit client found themselves in hot water over an issue relating to a disgruntled former employee. The stress and cost of this were overwhelming. Breakwater leveraged the HR experts that are part of Gusto Concierge to provide the nonprofit with proper counsel that gave them the confidence and facts to manage the situation. The result was a truly happy client that's continued to lean on Breakwater and grow their business. Now, we've been offering this type of advice for a couple years through Gusto Concierge, but with People Advisory and the accompanying education programs, we're now providing even more solutions and ways right-sized for you to advise your clients on everything from compliance basics to providing risk mitigation and counsel on complicated and nuanced team situations. This is the full service advisory that businesses need right now. No other payroll company has taken your partnership seriously, and we are changing that right here, right now, with People Advisory powered by Gusto. We are committed to using our services and technology not to replace accountants, but to strengthen and expand your value. Now, the accounting profession is changing quickly, and we all need to lean in and push technology companies to redefine what it means to be a partner, a human-centered partner. Expect more from your software vendors. We do. That's how People Advisory was born and why you'll continue to make important impact with your clients. What's next at Gusto is here. In the rest of our time together, you'll learn about the tools and the training and the resources you need to become a certified People Advisory, so you can expand the counsel you provide to your clients, help them survive this uncertain time and thrive beyond COVID, all while growing your revenue too. Without further ado, I will welcome Jacqueline Anku, who leads partner education at Gusto. Jacqueline is an expert in developing education and resources to help partners grow their firms. Prior to Gusto, she did just this for Xero. We are beyond thrilled Jacqueline's brought her experience and expertise to Gusto, and now to all of you as well. Thank you and welcome, Jacqueline.
Thanks, Lexi. Thank you for the introduction. Lexi is right. The need for accountants to deliver people advisory services existed long before COVID because, let's face it, people are complicated and clients need your help to make sense of how human dynamics affect business results and vice versa. Like many of you, I've seen this play out myself. Back when I was in college, I worked as a waitress at this local West African restaurant and nightclub called Bisat Baobab. And at the time, I thought it was going to be just another part-time job, but it ended up meaning more to me than I would have ever imagined because Bisat Baobab was special. It had this magnetic pull that drew in people from all walks of life because they loved the sense of community that they experienced there. And yet, as is typical with many small businesses, employee turnover was high. I saw my friends and colleagues move on to other jobs that afforded them things like health benefits and a retirement plan, and frankly, even just a better PTO policy. So the owner, Marco, was stuck thinking about how he could build a team who would stay for the long term, and he turned to his accountant for advice. Instead of advising Marco on how to invest in his team, he advised him on the financials, which makes sense. Financial advice is expected from an accountant. But like Lexi said, it isn't enough. Because what Marco really needed was an advisor who saw beyond the numbers and could help him make sense of how to create a great place to work where employees did stay for the long term. Now, I've been working with accountants for over 5 years here at Gusto and previously at Xero, and I've only ever met a small handful who would consider themselves experts on people operations. And until now, there hasn't been any training designed for accountants to build expertise on payroll, benefits, and HR, and learn how to use them as inroads to deeper advisory work. But let me stop and take a pulse check. Given the training that you've had, whether that was back in undergraduate or more recently as a professional, how prepared do you feel to talk to clients about their people operations? I'll give it a minute for poll results to come in. Now, if I had to guess how you felt, it would either be a little panicky, maybe wrestling with a fight or flight response, or more likely that you do give really great advice based on years of experience working with small businesses and a sort of inherent knowledge of people operations best practice, but there hasn't been any way to monetize that advice, so you give it away on the house. Okay, I think we can close the poll. Poll results are in. Most people feel kind of prepared giving advice on people operations. A few people would prefer to go swimming with sharks, and a few people do feel very prepared. But I think what's clear is that most people are in that, I wish I had more training category. So here's the good news. At Gusto, we believe that with the right education, you can learn to pair your financial expertise with advice and knowledge of people operations best practice so that you can help clients like Marco build a great place to work. And this is why I am both excited and honored to announce the launch of Gusto's People Advisory Certification Program. This is the first ever program of its kind from any payroll or HR provider, and it teaches so much more than just product training. By becoming People Advisor certified, you'll build expertise on payroll, benefits, and HR so that you'll feel confident that your clients and their employees are taken care of. You'll also become an expert on Gusto's People platform. You and your team can help clients discover features that will save them time and ultimately help them strengthen their relationship with employees. And most importantly, the program teaches you how to analyze the people story that the numbers tell so that you can confidently lead discovery about teams and recommend tools and resources that help clients manage the employee journey. So I think we all know a small business owner or two who needs this type of advice. Take Marco at Baobab, for example. It's been more than 10 years since my personal heyday at Baobab, and Marco still struggles with employee turnover to this day. I had the chance to catch up with him a few weeks ago, and he said, "Hey, you work at a payroll company, right? Do you know of any resources or people who can help me build my team?" It turns out I do. As a certified people advisor, you can help Marco. You'll have the confidence, knowledge, tools, and skill set to give him great advice on how to build his team. And by putting people at the heart of your advice, you'll not only help clients like Marco, you'll also help their employees and the families that they support. Ready to get started? People Advisory Certification can be taken at your own convenience and pace, and you can access it right from your Gusto Pro dashboard. By clicking on the Gusto Learn tile, you'll be taken to our brand new home for partner education, training, and resources. Certification consists of 3 chapters on payroll, benefits, and HR, each of which feature hands-on tutorials, interactive lessons, and insights from industry-leading experts. Once you're done with the course, you can share your accomplishment with your colleagues and with clients through using the People Advisor Certified badge. And this isn't just any old badge. This is the first ever program of its kind and the first ever badge of its kind from any payroll or HR provider that will truly help you communicate your status as a people operations expert to your clients. And that's not all. A certificate of completion makes the accomplishment even more official. And within the next few months, we'll be able to award CPE credits for partners who get certified. And we have a little something up our sleeves for the first 100 partners to complete the program from our friends and beloved Gusto customer, Keep Your City Smiling. So today or tonight, whenever you can, visit Gusto Learn and get started with People Advisory Certification. We're excited to support your work as practitioners, and we're also equally committed to helping you build your own firm. So on that note, let me introduce my friend and colleague, Leah Bright, who leads product marketing for partners here at Gusto. She's worked in the tech industry for over 10 years and decided to join Gusto because of a deep belief in the impact that we can have on small business clients together.
Thanks for the intro, Jacqueline. In addition to being a product marketer at Gusto, something you should know about me is that I like to go fast. I'm known for talking fast, working fast, and driving fast. My friends describe me as a spirited driver, almost always able to beat other folks departing and arriving from the same destination. If you ask me, it's really the only way to drive a Mini. My expectation is that the world around me permits me to move as fast as I want to move. I loathe to be slowed down or held back. I like speed and efficiency because it creates time and space for the priorities that really matter in life and at work. After joining Gusto, I quickly realized that I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who loves speed and efficiency. I have found my people. Yes, you, accountants. Whether it's bulk actions or faster page load times, you desire more speed, and specifically, more speed from us. And it makes sense. Many of you are trying to grow your firms, and you need time to focus on that growth. You need technology partners that not only want to see you grow and succeed, but also invest in it. So you're probably asking yourself, how is Gusto investing in my growth? First, we're investing in your growth through Gusto Pro. As Lexi mentioned, we've built a ton in the last 3 months. While People Advisory represents a brighter future we have together, we don't want you to think for a second we're not also devoted to improving our core product for you, Gusto Pro. Built specifically for accountants and bookkeepers, Gusto Pro represents the first of 3 ways I'll cover on how we're investing in your growth. Constructed on a strong tech platform, Gusto Pro is now so much more than a simple portal to your clients' accounts. We built it with speed in mind, and through the improvements we've made, you're navigating the platform seamlessly and accomplishing more in less time. You're using action items to see what you need to do across your entire client base in a single view, reducing clicks and streamlining workflows. You're seeing everything from which clients have blocked payrolls to how to offer timely and specific advice to food and bev clients impacted by closures. With the recently introduced upcoming payroll section, you're previewing your payroll tasks and better planning your time. You're finding what you're looking for more quickly with tools like a searchable client list that allows you to take top actions on behalf of clients fast. You're saving hours thanks to integrations with other apps, which combine perfectly with more efficient payroll and compliance tools, apps for accounting, time tracking, point of sale, and beyond. You're using bulk actions in reports to download information across your entire client base in just a few clicks. With our recently released Partner Build Invoice Report, you're generating an invoice across all your Partner Build clients for the month, saving you the painful process of individually opening each client's bill, copying and pasting it into your own spreadsheet, and saving you the hours that come along with it. With another bulk report, partners generated a single consolidated report that contained all the necessary client information to apply for relief under the Paycheck Protection Program in just a few seconds. Let's talk about why we want to save you time. We want to save you time because we want you to be able to prioritize people. The work that so many of you are doing on behalf of your clients right now, it matters deeply. These funds have been a lifeline for small businesses and their employees, a way to put food on the table for their families, pay for the childcare that allows them to continue working, and provide health insurance to keep them protected amid a global pandemic. When I finally slow down a bit to reflect, I love that we're investing time to save you time, saving you time so you can make time for conversations that matter. And we're also making it easier than ever to have those conversations by serving you data-driven insights that let you know when it's the right time to engage with a client. You're using these customized alerts to give clients the proactive, personalized, strategic advice that they need. Advice on how to stay resilient during hard times, advice on finding and keeping people that will help small businesses rebuild through and after a global pandemic. The kind of advice that Marco from Babao was looking for. And you'll be ready and prepared to have those conversations because in addition to investing in your growth and educating everyone at your firm through certification, we're going a step further. In 2 weeks, we're also announcing an advisory hub, a one-stop shop for resources that will help you put theory into practice. It's the second way that we're investing in your growth. Exclusively available to Gusto partners, the Advisory Hub can be easily accessed through Gusto Pro. It's actually located directly below the Gusto Learn tile that Jacqueline showed you earlier. It will host playbooks, toolkits, blogs, and podcasts that you'll use to implement people advisory at your firm with best practices in mind. You'll see guides on how to offer and charge your people advisory services, giving you new ways to provide value to small businesses and create sustainable revenue streams. And finally, the Hub will also feature a co-marketing toolkit to help you better market your firm. Speaking of a better way to market your firm, we're going to do that too. That's right. We are now marketing our partners' practices to our small business customers that are not currently working with an accountant or bookkeeper. We've developed a new algorithmically driven recommendation engine that will continue to improve over time. It leverages data from our customers and partners to create tailored matches. And the more clients you have on Gusto, the more likely you'll be recommended. It's the third way that we're investing in your growth. As is clear from Devon's story, accountants and bookkeepers can have an incredibly positive impact on the clients they serve. So we see this as a win-win, one that helps you build resiliency by continuing to grow your firm, and one that helps small businesses succeed through the people-focused advice you'll provide. And we all know that the advice from trusted advisors like you is critical now more than ever. Whether you've been working with Gusto for years, or this event is the first time you're hearing about us, you can count on Gusto to continue investing to empower you to serve small business clients and their teams. From Gusto Pro to best-in-class support for your firm and your clients, a people platform that provides heaps of employee benefit options, to concierge services where you get personal support from certified HR experts. These tools and experiences help you provide on-point advice to clients. And now I'm going to turn it over to someone else who loves speed and efficiency. He's the founder of Advisorify, a modern accounting firm that focused on technology to automate processes to improve small business consultation. He now spends his days as Gusto's head of the accounting community. Please welcome back to the screen, Will Lopez.
Well, thank you, Leah. Wow, what an amazing day, right? I wish I could see everybody and just kind of look at their eyes and maybe even do like a round of applause, because for many of us who have been in the profession, this is such a great moment where we can do more for our clients and figure out a way to put a framework behind it. So as you can tell, we're really, really excited to share a mission at Gusto, because in honesty, we want to create a new world with payroll, one that's never been experienced before, where your expert advice to clients has the real opportunity of including hardworking teams that also make those businesses successful. So obviously it's something we believe only you can do and we can support. So I'm here to present additional community resources inside and outside of Gusto that will bring your people advisor expertise to a monthly recurring reality for all your clients. So Leah just explained that Gusto is investing in your growth through Gusto Pro, which is our accountant dashboard. It will kickstart all those amazing people advisory alerts, moments, and so much more. Prior to Leah, Jacqueline shared that people advisor certification will be your essential training to develop and refine that expertise. It is seriously cutting edge payroll education with modern advisory built in, years ahead of schedule of innovation. And as Lexi opened up today's event, we built People Advisory powered by Gusto for you to further entrench your paid for business saving expert advice deeper into the center of a client's business and help them recognize that their teams are an essential part of the business equation. Because the truth is, evolving as an advisor really means that adopting a broader ecosystem of support will be critical to your success. So 2 quick points here to illustrate why broader adoption is essential when launching your new advisory service to all your clients. The first thing to know is that People Advisory has the right approach, tone, and perspective on where your trusted value lies when helping clients care for themselves and for their teams. You see, my mom and dad that you see there were struggling small business owners all their lives. And growing up, I saw them work really, really hard day and night to make payroll for themselves and their employees, which greatly affected my family. Yet that little boy you see there with his parents, that entire family still believes to this day that entrepreneurship indiscriminately unlocks opportunities for a better life. And that is something we believe only you can help guide as a people advisor. The second thing to know is that pivoting your firm services when the right moment presents itself is something you've already done, and you're doing it right now through COVID. And as a quick throwback, because after all, boom, it is Thursday. In the past 20 years, I have seen you shift the way you work with clients at the turn of the century because of the internet and desktop software. When the Great Recession of 2008 hit, you became known as the recession-proof accountant. I was there. And you curbed the effects of an economic downturn through your creative business strategies, even though your mid to large size firms retrenched 50% of its workforce. And around 2012, you started rethinking tried and true business models because of the rapid pace of innovation in cloud-based accounting technology. Accounting professionals then, who were delivering financial compliance work, started slowly seeing that work consumed by automation. And the firms who started pivoting their practices to meet the moment began future-proofing themselves right away. And I would know because I am one of those accountants. And in 2020, this very year, COVID-19 is acting as a forcing mechanism to get the entire profession, including you, to embrace cloud-based tech and business-saving professional services. So with those two realities laid out in front of us, I believe that in order to come out the other side of this pandemic relatively unscathed and more valuable to your clients, you will need to meet this moment once again by advancing your practice and enhancing relevant skill sets. Except this time, you'll attach a third area to your existing financial and business acumen and skill set. And that area is people. So let's run a quick pulse check with a poll just to make sure all of you are nice and fuzzy and awake. But as you complete that, my goal is to ensure that you receive here at Gusto the in-depth firm support and real on-demand value-added services to, as of this morning, right, to save the economy and protect the livelihoods of employers and employees. People will need the help, and so too will the economy. And that's something we believe only you can do, and we can do together. Because one of the biggest takeaways of this pandemic is that the most successful firms are the ones who are focusing right now and for years to come on guiding clients and their people with business recovery services. So a quick research study that was done by CPA.com last month said and showed that there's potential of supporting clients with advisory services. And I quote, "Strategic advisory services presents the biggest revenue opportunities, giving you an ability to increase monthly client revenues by up to 50%. And we believe we have unlocked that opportunity like this for you with People Advisory powered by Gusto. So are you ready? You ready to see what's behind the curtain? I know at least 67 of you, 67% feel like you're ready. So for the rest of you, let's dive into the amazing announcements that are here. We're launching the payroll industry's very first People Advisory technology stack to all Gusto partners. It's an initial round of fresh new tech and features with other cloud-based app companies that you know and love. One of these companies and apps is Giraffe. Through Jacqueline's certification, who is an amazing, talented education manager, mastermind behind certification, you will learn that the income statement and payroll costs consist of numbers. And behind all those numbers are people. And when you plug Giraffe into Gusto, you unleash a powerful suite of trackable key performance indicators. You'll be able to consult all your clients on their teams weekly, monthly, quarterly, pick your cadence, and as their people advisor, delivering real value starting with 6 essential people planning KPIs, which is way better than your traditional approach to financial statement work when analyzing workforce costs. And these 6 metrics will help you put a face to your clients' financials that keeps people first when you recommend business decisions in the midst of forecasting. And these days, people, not machines, not technology, make up as much as 80% of a company's total expense. And I want you to hear this here. And 100% of their competitive and innovative value. Let me say that again. 80% of a company's expense, 100% of a company's competitive and innovative value. Think about that for a second. Because when you help employers, your clients, focus on taking care of their teams, it translates to longer lasting business performance, a more productive and happy team. And the reality is a better bottom line for your client. And that's something you can influence. So the next app to your People Advisor tech stack is with Practice Ignition. Wow, amazing company. It's a cloud-based smart proposal and billing platform built for the accounting profession. Practice Ignition will give your firm the power to manage the initial client onboarding experience and so much more. And better yet, you'll be able to manage People Advisory revenue, billing, profitability, sales pipeline, just to name a few. And when you stack, or when Gusto and Practice Ignition are stacked together, you can easily scale these critical people-focused services to all your payroll clients. And through PI, you'll also have the amazing and new People Advisory engagement letter templates ready to go. So you can deliver a great first impression. And you'll be able to standardize the list of services that goes in it with just a few clicks. I mean, that's amazing. And Practice Ignition will help you clearly communicate your value and expertise along with everything that goes with it. But you know what? The fun doesn't stop there. For the first time in cloud accounting history, managing your variable app subscription costs for clients is now a reality. I mean, this is incredible. I would have given an arm and a leg at Advisor5 for this, because Practice Ignition's flexible proposal editor is now available to all Gusto partners. With this new feature, you can manage, or your firm can easily manage Gusto's people platform subscription costs on a month-to-month basis as it varies when you bundle it into your monthly People Advisory service package. It couldn't be easier to support clients on their teams and bundling all the tech and services to go with it. Because when People Advisory is powered by Gusto and accelerated by Drav and Practice Ignition, you will have the peace of mind knowing that your firm has all the right tools necessary to support clients. You'll be able to deliver that high quality, premium grade, people-focused services to every single client, no matter which industry they work hard in. So here we go, another one. Another major announcement we have is that now available to all certified Gusto partners is our new and cutting edge People Advisory Playbook. It's a 60-page digital ebook resource that lives in our hub and you'll receive after you get certified. It's packed with literally everything I know. And I wrote it to help you collapse the learning curves of change management, because change management is real, especially when you're trying to progress and advance and modernize your firm. And when starting to advise clients with people-focused services, you will need a step-by-step practitioner's guide. And this playbook offers just that. But why stop there with the hub? We got a lot more to go. In order to broaden your skills and contribute to your success, you can now access incredible app and cash flow advisory playbooks, along with many others, all powered by Xero. These playbooks that Xero has created cover everything from recommending the right apps within key industries to helping your clients cash flow. Because our partnership with Xero is about delivering a better experience for accountants. And the power and passion of two innovative solutions coming together who care about you, our advisors, Xero's beautiful and global cloud accounting platform, and Gusto's People Advisory platform powered by its people platform. And to top it all off, Gusto has launched its very first Partner Advisory Council, a group of deeply engaged Gusto partners, first of many People Advisor certified professionals. This council of incredibly talented practitioners are totally committed to the accounting profession and advancing new innovations with payroll. And in deeper partnership with our Gusto partners, we will keep our ear to the ground and finger on the pulse of the community as you trek through this new frontier. At Gusto, we believe, and I believe, that our accounting profession is at yet another inflection point as a result of this pandemic. I mean, we're at a split in the road, friends, really. And one direction keeps you on track with where our profession continues to head, which is keeping the client's needs close to lips and heart while letting and using technology to empower us to that end. And the other direction puts your daily work at the highest risk of being replaced by automation. That's something I don't want, because as my peers, I personally want to challenge you to think about and embrace the current responsibility and opportunity of making a meaningful business impact on all your clients with People Advisory.
Thanks, Will. Always inspiring. Now it's time for our panel discussion with three professionals from across the country. They all founded their respective firms, have an array of expertise, and Gusto is extremely fortunate to partner with them. Will, would you please introduce everyone that's sitting on our panel today?
I would be honored, absolutely. So first we have Kenji Kuramoto, founder of Acuity, an Atlanta-based, cloud-based accounting firm. They specialize in CFO outsourcing and modern services like crypto, and he was the one rocking the mustache in the video. Thank you so much, Kenji, for being here. We also have Nio Carter-Gray, who Lexi mentioned. She's the founder of First Step Accounting out of Baltimore, Maryland, where she makes accounting a little less taxing for small businesses all across the United States. And then finally, we have Michael Lee, founder of Reconciled, which handles virtual bookkeeping out of Burlington, Vermont. And he owns Humanly, which is an on-demand HR firm for entrepreneurs around the US. Thank you all for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks everybody. So let's get right into it and kick things off by talking about the difficult circumstances that everybody's been facing in 2020. And Nio, I want to start with you. Can you tell us about what your practice has been like since March, and what your conversations with clients have been like, and how you're advising them differently?
Wow, I'll start and say, since March 15th, it's been like a nightmare. You know, the stay-at-home orders hit when COVID-19 just kind of took everything, the world by storm. And so I have been working nonstop since then, taking on some of the stresses of my clients. As Lexi mentioned earlier, I have the pleasure and honor of working with my sister, who is a day of wedding coordinator. So she would call me all stressed out, and, you know, I was taking her stress on. I got anxious, a little nervous about, you know, how could I help her? Because when we started the year off, you know, 2020 was the year of all these big goals. She had revenue goals. We sat down and created this budget. She bought all this ad space, and she was super excited. And then the stay-at-home orders hit, and her business just got rocked. And she had 6 people she had just brought on to the team, and she felt personally responsible for, you know, making sure that they were paid and being able to take care of them, even though every single wedding she had got pushed to 2021. So she was nervous about having to give the funds back for the deposits she received. But we got an opportunity to sit and talk and work through some issues and some problems, and came up with some solutions. She started advising her clients on, you know, how to get some of the money back for the contracts that they were, you know, not going to be able to use in the year, and was able to reschedule a lot of them. So her clients felt supported. Then I felt like I was really helping her, because I saw the worry start leaving her face. Even though, you know, we're still managing and deal with it, we now have regularly scheduled calls so that, you know, she can now feel way more empowered and confident about where things are going, even though it's still a stressful time.
Gosh, I mean, it's just been a wild year. I mean, I just can't even imagine, you know, everything that's happening behind the scenes, and I'm sure everybody can relate. Now, Kenji, I know you've been in financial advisory over the years at Acuity, and how has obviously 2020 affected you? COVID affected your firm and team?
Yeah, we have been doing financial advisory for quite a while. So in some regards, we were in pretty good shape, because I think advisory became very important during this time. However, it was different, right? Because we're used to helping people secure loans, go out for financing, raise capital. But this time it was very different. As we're preparing, you know, PPP loan documents, and I'm sure many others here had the same experience. You're looking at all the source data, and all the source data for pulling the loans together are lists of people. I mean, people's names. And so it just dawns on you. It makes it much more of a personal, I think, type of activity than it used to be fairly analytical. And just the conversations that we would have with the clients afterwards about how many of these people do you think we can save? What if we made a few adjustments? What about their families and such? So being an advisory, I think, helped us through this, but we felt unprepared for some of the conversations that we were having, especially around some of the people. So it was definitely some uncharted territory.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Will, but I'm always impressed by firms that are able to, get out when they're outside their comfort zones. They find a way to deliver, even though that discomfort, you sometimes have to sit with it. It's always a testament to advisors who find a way to serve.
Michael, you're an experienced HR advisor owning Humanly. How has your firm, or how have you approached clients and their teams with everything that's different than the normal accountant approach?
Yeah, Will, that's a great question. If you can remember before the pandemic, most of us were in a great economy, and businesses and our clients, our businesses and our own businesses and clients were just busting at the seams. And the number one challenge that was facing everybody was our people. How do we find great talent? How do we incentivize the right leaders to join our teams? And how do we ensure those people are a great culture fit? And so, pre-COVID, I remember talking to a client, and they came to me. They were building their small business. They got to a point where they wanted to build a great leadership team. They wanted to add their first manager. And so they came to me to ask about it. They saw the growth of Reconciled, my business, and asked, how did you hire your first manager? And so I was able to go back to that experience, like most of us who have built accounting firms, go back to the experience of hiring your first accounting manager or your first leader, and take that and leverage it to give advice to the client. And now my experience with most accountants is that we're already giving that advice for free, and oftentimes don't realize the value of that. And that's where Gusto now is going to make it easy for us to do that with the language and the approach that the People Advisory Certification gives us. It's funny that the same challenges that happened before the pandemic are happening today. It's still all around people and finding the right people to come and work for your firm. So I'm really excited about what Gusto's put together, because it's going to help us give better words and succinct language to the services that we're currently offering.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that there's always been a real need and opportunity to advise on people long before COVID, but now it has accelerated that need, and now it's urgent.
I'd love to hear from each of you, starting with Michael and then Nayo and Kenji. What does being a people advisor mean to you? We heard some of you on the videos. What can you do for your clients or your firm that you didn't do before you had that people advisory framework?
Well, I think with my firm Humanly, we've been trying to approach the people advisory services in a specific way. And now the framework that Gusto's been able to give us allows us to, one, highlight the different types of service offerings that we want to provide, do that on a monthly recurring basis, which is the revenue model that we're trying to aim for, and also give insight into the other ways, the other additional services that we hadn't been offering, which were highlighted in the People Advisory Certification. So that was a very helpful framework for us in how we're approaching the market with Humanly.
So for me, first of all, I learned a ton from that certification. There were some history lessons that just blew my mind, because, we never think about where Medicaid or Medicare and FICA and all of those taxes came from. So to hear the background basically gave me some insight for going forward. The other thing about the courses and the certification that I really, really am going to enjoy is that it gave me some real KPIs that I can start looking at. Whereas though I didn't think about them before, because I primarily work with those smaller startup businesses, and it now is going to help me frame those conversations, the initial ones and then the continuing ones about, once you hire that employee, how to get them to stay or how to track what they're doing to making sure that it's a good culture fit. So I was really excited about that.
Awesome.
So I was looking through the Q&A earlier, and I saw a question by Kristen Keats, and she had kind of expressed some kind of nervousness around providing advisory services, and it so resonated with me. I think that's where we've had these stories, whether it's been PPP or any of the other advisors have mentioned, like we've kind of gotten thrust into situations and kind of felt unprepared. I think all of us started firms and started in this profession because we want to help people. So we already have that in common. But I think that we often, as accountants, we're pretty risk averse. We don't really like to go out and try to, go do things if we don't, if we haven't learned them before. And so to me, and again, to Kristen's kind of question, to me, I think what certification has done is given confidence, right? To where going through that process, learning a bit more, realizing that not only is there the certification, there's all the different support that Gusto's providing, all the different templates, reports, materials behind all of it. I think those are the things that give us accountants confidence to where we can kind of start leaning into these conversations around people as opposed to sometimes kind of shying away just because we maybe didn't have that as part of our classical accounting education. So I think that other advisors are really going to enjoy going through the certification process.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, let me be the first, to thank you all, Nayo, Kenji, and Michael, for your commitment to our profession and becoming certified people advisors. We believe that through accountants and people advisory, businesses will be able to survive this moment and get them back on the road to recovery and back to thriving and serving their communities.
So yeah, absolutely agree, Caleb. And I know we're running into our Q&A in about 20 minutes left for that. And just want to say that at Gusto, we're absolutely committed to serving the underserved, to partnering with the profession as it continues to head a certain direction, to join them in that journey. And we're always striving to do more for our customers and our partners and to help them do their best work, to help them create the most resilient places to work. That's why today I'm honored to share that Gusto has made a donation of $15,000 to the AICPA Diversity Fund to further help their work foster and create more diversity within the accounting profession. Just want to say thank you so much to the AICPA for just their passion and their initiative behind all of this, because we know that a more diverse workforce is better for everyone. It's better for business. We want to be able to do that. That's why People Advisory exists, to actually bring employees back to the table of discussion between you and your client. And this donation is one action we're taking. Another is by continuing to put people first and build products like People Advisory and services like certification that do too in partnership with the accounting profession. And we believe People Advisory absolutely does.
Well, thanks, Will Lopez, and thanks again to our panel. For the last hour or so, you've heard from a lot of different people about what's next at Gusto. But now we want to hear from you. So this is the question and answer portion of the program, and we have about 20 minutes that we'll take your questions. And I'll just be facilitating the questions and kicking them to our team of speakers, our panel of people advisors, as well as a couple other members of the Gusto partner team who are joining us. Nora Tucker, who leads product management for our partner mission, and Dominic Daly, our head of partner sales. So let's get right to it. And the first, I got a couple of questions from Heather, and I'm just gonna pair these together. First question is, how long does it take to get through the certification program? And is the certification free? And Jacqueline, I think you're the best person to answer that.
Thanks for the question. So the certification program is exclusive for our Gusto partners, and it is a free perk of our partner program. It takes an estimate of about 4 hours to go through it from top to bottom. That said, like I said, you can access it at your own convenience and your own pace. So if it suits you best to take it all in one sitting, you can do that, or you can break it up across multiple sessions, whatever is most convenient for you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jacqueline. Next question is from Lee. are you looking to add Zoho Books integration? And Nora, I think that's a good question for you.
Sure. Thanks for the question, Lee. I will preface this by saying, as a product lead, I've been conditioned to be a little bit cagey in my responses. So I'm just going to say I totally understand the value that this would bring to your firm and your clients. And we're exploring options, and I've been told that is the most I am allowed to share at this point in time, but stay tuned.
There's a series of questions here, and they're all for Will Lopez. Number one, is Practice Ignition free for us? I currently pay for it monthly. Second question, is the certification going to cost money since you get Practice in PI and Giraffe access? And the third question in this series, are Giraffe and PI required to be adopted by a firm to qualify for the certification? So that's a lot, Will Lopez. So if I need to repeat it, I'd be happy to repeat it.
Yeah, I may ask you to repeat them, but the first question as far as is Practice Ignition free? So our partnership with Practice Ignition actually just drives our value together and closer together. Practice Ignition is not free. If you're not an existing Gusto partner, you could join and we can make sure that you get in contact with Practice Ignition to unlock all the complimentary engagement letter templates and workflows to help you with people advisory. So, they have their own model over there. And as part of People Advisory Launch, the model stays the same. What was the second question, Caleb?
Second question is, will the certification cost anything since you get Practice Ignition and Giraffe access?
Yeah, so no, certification is as Jacqueline mentioned, it's free. The reason why we have these partnerships with Giraffe and Practice Ignition is because, as practitioners, we know that there's a lot more behind the scenes in managing a firm than, let's say, delivering an advisory service like People Advisory. There's, serving up engagement letters, making sure that your client understands your scope, right? What's in scope, what's out of scope, listing out the applications that you're using for like people planning and those 6 KPIs. So, part of advisory and modernizing your practice is leaning into other solutions that really complement the advisory offering, which is the typical approach.
Okay, and the last question in this series was, are Giraffe and Practice Ignition required to be adopted for the certification?
No, they're not required. We highly suggest it and recommend it because we have worked with them closely to actually build actual deliverables that you'll want to present to your client. So what you'll learn in the People Advisory certification that we've built is that you'll be able to provide certain deliverables that have like those people planning KPIs, those 6. So in order for you to, if you want to deliver a really nice holistic package to your client, where you're going to say, okay, here's the advisory offering I'm going to give you, and then here are the concrete things that I'm going to do for you on a regular basis, monthly, weekly, whatever the case may be. We recommend those applications because they have actually built out features in their products that support and complement People Advisory offerings.
Okay, great. Next question is from Janine, and she asks, are you offering the training program to client partners who aren't accountants? Jacqueline, back to you.
Say because the certification program is a benefit of our partner program, the assumption is that most folks will be either accountants or bookkeepers. So that's it. If you're in the accounting community or serving clients as a practitioner, I think that certification will be a fantastic value add and build your skill set.
So great. Thanks, Jacqueline. Next question from Mary. Is there going to be an admin on the client side? This has been an issue with payroll clients. There needs to be a separation of what emails they received versus what we receive. And Nora, this is one for you.
Yes, everyone's favorite topic, emails. I hear you. It's a problem. We know it's a problem, especially as your client base grows. Unfortunately, right now, the number of emails grows alongside it. First, we acknowledge it. Second, our new advisory moments or action items that we're building into the product to make sure that you're aware of those really critical conversations you should be having with clients, either to ensure they remain compliant or even better, to tee off really powerful advisory conversations. That's all happening inside of Gusto Pro, not via email, so that you don't lose sight of that. But third, I'll say we are investigating this little email problem that we have. It's complicated and getting more and more complex, as you can imagine. But we're doing a deep dive into that to see what we can do to streamline things on the email side for you.
Thanks, Nora. Next question, anonymous. Will there be any group style training? This person has a team of 6 bookkeepers, including them. We are all QuickBooks Online Pro certified advisors, and it's a requirement for employment at their firm. Are you going to talk about the steps to becoming certified? Jacqueline, back to you.
That's so awesome that you require your team to get certified, and we're excited to have you include our certification as part of your own team's onboarding. So we feel like we're just getting started with partner education and training. For now, certification is limited to the e-learning program that we have on Gusto Learn. It's live right now as we speak. So you can log into your Gusto Pro dashboard, and that Gusto Learn tile will be there on the right-hand side. Click it, go to Gusto Learn, check it out. So more to come, lots more to come from us, and certainly we're looking into live group style trainings.
Okay, great. Next question from Jessica. This is all awesome, but I'm crippled by not having job costing. Please tell me there are updates on this. Leah Bright, you want to handle this one?
I would be delighted to. Jessica, great question, and we've got good news for you. Gusto actually recently launched a workforce costing beta to our partners and small businesses who are on the complete and concierge plans. So now when an admin logs into their Gusto account and clicks on time tracking, a project tracking tile will be visible. And once the admin creates a project, both salaried and hourly employees can track their hours for projects worked or for hours worked on projects. And after running payroll, they can then visit the reports and run a workforce costing report. The report is going to break down employee cost per project, and that will give businesses a much more accurate view of their labor expenses. And as a fast follow, we're going to be doing some updating with our accounting integrations to ensure workforce costing works there as well. So you can expect us to continue investing in this offering, because what we've rolled out right now is just the initial offering.
Cool. Thanks, Leah. Next question is from Jackie. My biggest question is, how do I advise clients that have less than 10 employees that they can and should offer health insurance? Dom, how about you?
Hey, Jackie. Hope you've been well. I know it's been a while, but health insurance is a benefit that every employee is going to care about, regardless of how big their employer is. According to a MetLife annual employee benefit study, 81% of employees said that health benefits are a must-have. So for your clients, if they are keen on attracting and retaining top talent, health benefits serve as a huge lever. And as a small business, that leverage is exponential. But you're not alone here either. Gusto's licensed benefits advisors here to help both you and your client navigate small group health insurance, both the plans that allow for you to balance cost as well as coverage. And if you have any questions, your account manager, Leah, can get you pointed in the right direction. And last plug for certification, there's plenty in the training on how to advise clients of any size about the value of employee benefits.
Great, thanks, Dom. Next question is from Sochil. The program expands information for treating health insurance for business owners. Jacqueline, for business owners.
Yeah, so there's 3 chapters in the certification program: payroll, benefits, and HR. And each of the chapters breaks out evenly, and that it grounds the entire training in the history of that topic. So you'll learn about how our current benefit system came to be. Then you'll learn foundational knowledge about small group health insurance. So what you need to know to be confident talking to clients about that in the first place. Then transitions to teaching product training, so you know how to get clients set up on the People platform. And then from there, it shows how you can put that theory into motion through different people advisory frameworks. So short answer is that yes, it absolutely expands on health benefits for employees and what their value is and what role accountants can play as people advisors.
Great. Really exciting. I love health insurance. Who doesn't? Everyone should have it. Okay, next question. This is an anonymous. It's kind of a softball, so I'll give it to Dom. How do you become a Gusto partner? Dom, can you tell us?
I think so. So two really straightforward ways. either go to our website, which we're hoping people will spend quite a bit of time on after Gusto Next finishes, but on the drop down for accountants, there's something that says become a partner. You fill out your information, we'll give you a phone call within that day. The other way would just simply be emailing advisor@gusto.com, and we'll follow up directly with you.
Great. Thanks, Dom. Let's see. What do we have next here? Another one from Jackie. Have you fixed, let's see, I think this is related to the directory, so that spammers cannot get advisors' email addresses. Yep, this is related to the directory. And Nora, back to you.
Sure. So we recently made some improvements to the partner directory as part of that matchmaking with clients, actually. But as part of that, the email address and phone number contact information is now hidden on the main directory listing. So there's an additional click that somebody would need to take to access that. So that should help. But if you believe that this is happening to your account, please let your Gusto partner know so that we can follow up. That would be very helpful for us in learning.
This one is from an anonymous audience member. Can we just take the exam and not go through the course material to get certified? Jacqueline, I believe you can handle that one.
I'm so happy that you asked. We have a fast track exam just for you. So we know that there's many partners who have been with us for years at this point, or who are in fact payroll, benefits, and HR experts. So when you're in Gusto Learn, go to the catalog and you can enroll in our fast track exam. It takes about 30 minutes or so. There's 30 questions. And if you pass with a score of 80% or higher, you will be People Advisor certified and get all of the rewards that comes with the program.
Next question from Michelle and several other folks. When will you be able to offer CPE credits? That will definitely impact when I would want to start the process. And Jacqueline, we'll go back to you again.
Yes, so CPE credits are top of mind for us as well. We're working hand in hand with NASBA to become accredited so we can award an estimated 4 CPE credits for the course. So we cannot award credits in arrears as per NASBA's rules. So if you're in the market for CPE credits, hang tight as we complete our application. We should be accredited by end of year. And certainly keep your eye on your inbox. We will announce it with lots of fanfare.
Great, thanks, Jacqueline. Next question from Wendy. Is health insurance available in every state? And Lexi, I'm gonna let you take this one.
We're not available in every state. We're just launching some new states which cover 80% of the population that needs health insurance. We'll send out via tweet the states that we're available in right after this. So stay tuned on Twitter.
All right, great. Thanks, Lexi. Anonymous audience member asks, in addition to accountants lacking confidence in providing advisory services, they also struggle to communicate value and selling. Does the program offer support and training in the sales arena? It is especially difficult to roll out new services with our small business clients suffering financially from the pandemic. Will Lopez, I think that's a great question for you.
Personally, I'd love to hear more from you because this is an area of just deep interest for me personally. So feel free to email me at will.lopez@gusto.com. I think this answer is actually twofold. One, Jacqueline did an incredible job within certification using and really helping our people advisors distinguish their role from the role of Gusto. And there's a lot of language inside our certification course that will help you sell people advisory services to your clients and have initial conversations in those 3 areas, payroll, benefits, and HR. The second thing to that is the people advisory playbook that will be available to all certified partners will help you kind of evaluate the best way to charge for your people advisor services. Clearly, we're not going to tell you exactly what to charge because this is the value added service that you're going to provide your clients. But what we'll do is we'll help you with the framework and help you thinking a little bit in the right direction that gets the most value of your expertise when you communicate it to your clients. Because right now, the supply of forward-thinking accountants is kind of limited, and people advisory kind of just gives you that extraordinary opportunity to partner more closely with your clients and provide significant value. So you can think about ways to defer payment as a way of to help out clients suffering financially, but then with like light touch people advisory, which the playbook unpacks, but then getting into full scope people advisory, which is what the playbook will help you do.
This one's from Ryan. I'm a CPA and currently just do bookkeeping. I'm expanding to offer payroll related services now, but I've been hesitant because I've never had formal payroll training. Do you think this is a good place to start? Jacqueline, what do you think?
Yes. Yes, this is a good place to start. I think I hear you. In our research leading up to certification, it was shocking to me personally to find out that payroll isn't taught pretty much anywhere unless you want to become an absolute expert in it. So we feel that certification is actually the only program on the market of its kind that gives you the need to know knowledge about payroll so that you can feel confident offering it as a service to your clients, and that you can do so much more than just offer payroll, but you can use it as this inroad to advisory. So it is the absolute best place you could possibly start.
This latest one is from Kingston. From a CPA with accounting experience and payroll, but less outside advising, just starting a practice, what would be the best approach in integrating the people services, and what challenges would you foresee? Will Lopez.
Yeah, great question. And with every advisory service, a roadmap and a playbook and a step-by-step guide is needed. So basically, you could go through our people advisory playbook, which has 5 chapters and more of just amazing content that will help you with that journey of approaching and integrating people advisory services into your firm. Because like I said before, change management is real, and certification is amazing, but certification plus a roadmap of activating it and turning theory into practice is also needed. So check out the playbook.
Yeah, the playbook is great. Really great. Will did a tremendous job on that. Okay. Next question from Mick. When does Gusto Pro dashboard launch? Nora or Leah, one of you can maybe talk about that a little bit.
I can take that one. It's a softball. It's live. It's available now. It's the Gusto Pro you know and love, but we're going to continue to just make it better and better. Number of things coming down the pipeline. I won't get into it now because I know we're at time, but please continue to stay tuned. The product team is cranking on all cylinders and expect to see a lot of improvements in the coming months.
And finally, Alex, I am happy to say that I have just been, I am happy to say that I have been able to just get certified. Hey, somebody just did the fast track. Way to go, Alex. Wow. Be like Alex. People certified. Congrats. So we're going to wrap there. Thanks to everyone for your terrific questions. If you did not get your question answered live, we will be publishing a blog post with our team's responses in the near future. We covered a lot today, most notably about the urgent need and big opportunity of people advisory. We discussed how Gusto is committed to being your partner in this journey and how it's providing the education and tools and tech so you can step deeper into your role as a holistic business advisor. And you heard from the accounting profession's very first people advisors about the impact that they're already experiencing in their practices. I want to thank our presenters, Lexi Reese, Jacqueline Anku, Leah Bright, and my co-host, Will Lopez. And I want to thank our panelists, Nayo Carter-Gray, Kenji Kuramoto, and Michael Lee. Finally, Gusto Next would not have been possible without all the tireless work of countless individuals behind the scenes. A very big thank you goes out to Elizabeth Downing, Kelly Boynton, Jacqueline Chung, Paul Choi, Dominic Daly, Micah Panama, Maddie Vogue, Vern Leo, Paul Loeffler, Matt Woodson, Ryland Harris, Emily Ritter, Morgan Cochran, Michelle Lean, Andrea Garcia Vargas, James Lee, Monica Davis, and Tina Pastolero. Big extra special thanks to Elliot Marin. And that is a wrap for Gusto Next. Thanks everybody for watching. That was a lot of fun. I'm Caleb Newquist. Go with Gusto.